Hello students, I am Sachitrakar. Welcome to Cars Physics. This is my lecture 11 on electrostatics and we are continuing electric charge and electric field. In this lecture we will discuss on electric flux. Okay, in lecture 11 we will discuss on electric flux. But before going to electric flux, let's discuss about area vector, which is a parameter to express electric flux. Means to express electric flux we do need the concept of area vector. Okay, area. When we think about area, we do think we can express area taking only magnitude. Suppose area of the surface, suppose this is surface, area of the surface area is let 30 meter square or 30 centimeter square, whatever you may take. Okay, then 30 centimeter square is only magnitude. So area can be expressed taking magnitude. But in physics, we do consider elemental area as a vector quantity. To express flux, we do need elemental area vector to express electric flux and as well as to express magnetic flux also. Okay, then area vector, let's come back to vectors. In vector concept we know area can be expressed as a vector quantity. Okay, I am starting from the beginning, means basic concept. Let's consider this is a parallelogram. Okay, I am naming the parallelogram A, B, C, D. Okay, let's consider two vectors are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. Along the side AD, a vector P is represented, and along the side AB, the vector Q is represented. So two vectors are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Let angle between them is theta. Then what is area of the parallelogram? Area of the parallelogram is given as the product of length and perpendicular to it. Okay, this is length. Then let's draw a perpendicular to the side AD. Let this point is this point is E and this is A. Then area is expressed as the product of length AD and perpendicular BE. Okay, then from the right angle triangle, ABE. Okay, from the right angle triangle ABE, sine theta. See, the right angle triangle ABE, this angle is 90 degree. AE is base, AB is hypotenuse, BE is perpendicular. Then sine theta is given as BE divided by AB. Then sine theta is equal to length of B divided by length of AB, but length of AB represents magnitude of Q vector. Then we may represent here in place of AB magnitude of Q. Then B is given as Q sine theta. Then area is given as length of AD represents magnitude of P. Length of B represents Q sine theta. Then area is PQ sine theta, where P is vector P, means length AD represents magnitude of P and length AB represents magnitude of Q, and theta is smaller angle between them. As we know, the result of cross product of P and Q means P cross Q. Result of cross product means magnitude of cross product of P and Q. P cross Q is equal to PQ sin theta. Then we have got magnitude of cross product of P and Q. Then it may be expressed in terms of cross product of P and Q. Then area vector, I am writing completely, area vector of the parallelogram is equal to PQ sin theta. We may write it in vector form. Area vector is P cross Q. If area vector is expressed in terms of P vector cross Q vector, then it becomes easier to decide the direction of area vector. P cross P. See students, this is P vector, this is Q vector, and smaller angle between them is theta, then P cross Q. Direction of P cross Q, as per right hand thumb rule or right hand screw rule, direction of P cross Q is outward. See, direction of P cross Q is outward. Suppose this area we have taken on XY plane. This is X axis and this is Y axis. Then the parallelogram, the plane surface lies on XY plane. Okay. Then direction of this parallelogram along P cross Q means perpendicular to plane of XY plane, then direction is along Z axis. Okay. Then we may write it along Z axis, or we may write it PQ sin theta along Z axis, means unit vector along Z axis is K cap. Accordingly, we may also express this in terms of Q and P, Q cross P. Okay, taking P and Q, two sides of the triangle. Okay, P and Q. Then cross product also may be expressed as Q cross P. If it is Q cross P, then direction will be inwards or along negative Z axis. There you may take minus K cap. Okay, we'll discuss it in brief. Suppose now this is not a parallelogram but a triangle. The triangle ABD. Then area of triangle is half base into perpendicular. Then only multiply half, and this is half. Okay, half PQ sin theta. Then we have already expressed area of parallelogram and area of triangle in the form of vector. Okay, so in general way we may say direction of area vector is perpendicular to the plane of area. This is plane of area. Direction is perpendicular to the plane of area, maybe outward, maybe inward. If you are taking P cross Q, then direction is outward. If you are taking Q cross P, direction is inward. Anti-clockwise, outward, clockwise, inwards, but both are perpendicular to the surface area or plane of area. Anti-clockwise towards your eye. Clockwise away from your eye. Okay, or anti-clockwise upward. If you place area like this, this is area. Anti-clockwise outward, clockwise inwards. Okay, outward, inward, or upward, downward, or towards your eye, away from your eye. Okay, in general, just remember direction of plane surface area. Direction of plane surface area vector is perpendicular to the plane or perpendicular to the surface. Okay. Now, let's see some specific cases to determine area vector. Area, two-dimensional area. Okay. Or a plane area. This is a plane area. This is two-dimensional. Okay, I am representing the coordinate axis. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. See students, x-axis and y-axis are lying on this plane. So this plane, obviously, this plane is xy plane. Let's draw now z-axis. This is z-axis. Means perpendicular to the plane. Let's represent z-axis like this. Okay. Then this plane is yz plane. This is xy plane. This is yz plane. This is z-axis. Obviously, this plane is xz plane. xz plane. Let's imagine this is a square on xy plane. This is a square. This side is a, this side is a. Then what is magnitude of area of square? Magnitude of area of square is a into a, means a square. Then what is direction of area? As we have discussed, direction of area vector is perpendicular to the plane, means surface area. Okay. We may take direction outward or we may take inward. For a plane surface or for a two-dimensional surface, you may take direction of area vector either outward or inward, but in any one direction. When you are solving numericals, don't change the direction. If you are taking outward, then take outward. If you are taking inward, then take only inward. Okay. Then direction of area vector, if you take outward direction, perpendicular to xy plane, perpendicular to x-axis, perpendicular to y-axis, then perpendicular to xy plane. Obviously, this is along the direction of z-axis and direction is k cap. If you are taking inwards, then take minus k cap. Thus, direction of area vector, if the plane of area lies on xy plane, then direction will be along z-axis. Okay. Suppose this is a circle on xz plane. This is a circle, looks like that because the circle is on this plane. You are observing, remaining on the front side of the board. Then this is a circle on xz plane. Then what will be direction? Direction of this area of circle will be perpendicular to the plane in outward direction. Then this direction is along y-axis, perpendicular to xz plane is along y-axis. Outward direction is along positive y-axis. If radius of the circle is r, then its area vector is magnitude of area pi r square. Direction is along y-axis. Take j cap. If you are taking inward, then you may take minus j cap. Here I have taken along positive y-axis. Suppose this is a rectangle on yz plane. Let length is L, breadth is B. Then magnitude of area is L into B. What about direction? See students, this is yz plane. We may imagine like this. This is yz plane. The rectangle lies on yz plane, on this plane. Then direction of this rectangle will be perpendicular to the plane. See student, this is along x-axis. If you take inwards, then it is along negative x-axis. So accordingly, the direction of area, magnitude of area is LB and direction is LB I cap. Or if you are taking along negative x-axis inward direction, then you may take minus I cap, negative minus I cap. Okay. These are some fundamental discussions on or about area vector. This is true for two-dimensional area. You may take either inward or may outward or upward or downward or towards your eye and away from your eye. Okay. For three-dimensional area or for a solid body, 3D surface area. Let's imagine a cubical body. A cubical body. Okay. Let's imagine because in place of a cubical body, I may draw a parallelepiped body. My drawing is like this. Okay, this is a cubical body. Each side of the cube is A. Okay, then the cubical body has different surface areas. This is a surface area. Okay, The back side is also a surface. Okay, I am representing first the first four sides. Okay, this is a surface area. This is also a surface area. Okay, let's first discuss about the direction of these two surface areas. Magnitude of both the surface area a square, length each side of the cubical body is same. So this is a, this is also a, but this is along x-axis. Okay, this is along y-axis, this is along z-axis. Okay, then direction of this area will be in outward direction. Direction of this area will be along outward direction. See students, for a three-dimensional body, area vector of each surface should be taken in outward direction. Okay, for three-dimensional body, surface area of each surface should be taken in outward direction. See student, this is along x-axis. Magnitude of area is a square, direction is I cap. This is along negative x-axis. Magnitude of area is a square, direction is minus I cap. Okay, so this is the surface area, but this surface area is on this plane, y-axis, and this is z-axis. This is xz plane. Sorry, oh, okay, xz plane. Sorry, this is x-axis. This is z-axis. This plane is on xz plane. X-axis, z-axis, this is xz plane. This surface is also on xz plane. Okay, this is on xz plane. This is z-axis, this is x-axis, this is on xz plane. This is also on xz plane. So surface area, direction of surface area will be in outward direction. This is xz plane. This is perpendicular to the surface. Obviously, this is along negative y-axis. So direction is minus j cap. For this surface area, this is in outward direction. Magnitude of area is a square. This is on xz plane. Direction is along positive y-axis. So we may take j cap. Okay. Then about the front surface. This is front surface. Front surface is on xy plane. See, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is on xy plane. So direction is in outward direction. Direction of this area is a square is magnitude. Direction is in outward direction, means k cap. But about the back side of the, you are seeing, you are observing the front side. For the back side, direction of area vector will be along negative z-axis, means a square into minus k cap. Okay, so for a solid body, for a three-dimensional body, direction of area vector should be taken in direction of each surface area may be taken in outward direction. Okay, I am erasing all this. I think you have got a fundamental concept about area vector. Okay, in physics we do consider elemental area as a vector quantity. Okay, then about electric flux. See students, we have already discussed about electric field or electric field strength or electric field intensity. Okay, electric field is defined as force experienced by an unit positive charge. Okay, to express electric field, for clarity of expression of electric field, we require this parameter, means electric flux. Electric flux is the required parameter to express electric field. Okay, we have discussed about electric field lines. Okay, where there is electric field lines, there must be electric field. Where there is electric field lines, there must be electric field. Okay, so electric field lines, as we have discussed, this concept is given by the great scientist Michael Faraday. Okay, according to Michael Faraday, electric field lines are imaginary graphical representation to visualize electric field. And electric field lines are the path followed by unit positive charge or path followed by or locus of unit positive charge or locus of test charge tends to move. Okay, electric flux means a group of electric field lines. Electric flux is a group of electric field lines or a number of electric field lines or collection of electric field lines, whatever you may explain, in the form of a group of or a number of or collection of electric field lines, means a bunch of electric field lines called as flux. So sometimes question is asked, what is optical analogous of light beam? Optical analogous of light beam is electric flux. Light beam may be parallel, may be divergent, may be convergent. Similarly, electric field lines may be parallel, may be convergent, may be divergent. Okay. If you consider a positively charged body, as we know, electric lines of force emanate from the surface of positively charged body like this in all directions. Okay. Okay. For a negatively charged body, electric fields are radially inwards like this in all directions. Okay. But in symmetric way, you know, these are parallel electric field lines where electric field is uniform. Okay. So, parallel electric field lines, divergent, only considering this part, divergent electric field lines, only considering this part, converging electric field lines. So, collection of electric field lines is called as flux. Okay. So, electric flux is collection of electric field lines. This is flux, this is flux, this is flux, or for whole surface also flux. Flux means a number of group of or a number of electric field lines. This is about flux. Okay. Flux is a scalar quantity. Flux is not a vector. Flux is a scalar quantity. The number of electric field lines, number is scalar. So, electric flux is a scalar quantity. Then, how will you express electric flux quantitatively? We will count the number of flux. How? Quantitative. Electric flux in quantitative way, electric flux from an elemental area, d phi, is defined as the dot product of electric field and elemental area vector. Electric flux from an elemental area is defined as a dot product of electric field and elemental area vector. Okay. Dot product is a scalar quantity, so flux is a scalar. Okay. Then for whole surface, dA is elemental surface. For whole surface, we may integrate both sides. Integration of d phi and integration of E dot dA. For whole surface, we may write here surface integral of E vector dot dA vector. Okay. For whole surface, we may write total flux is phi. Electric field vector for whole surface integration of dA is A. So, in general, we may say electric flux is defined as the dot product of electric field and area vector. Area vector perpendicular to the plane of area for plane surface. Okay. Then, electric flux is EA cos theta. EA cos theta. Okay. Then we will go to unit system of electric flux units. As we know, electric field is force per unit positive charge or test charge, Newton per coulomb, and area is meter square. So, units of electric flux is Newton meter square per coulomb. Okay. Or this may be written as Newton meter into meter divided by coulomb. Okay. So, Newton meter into meter divided by, okay, then it may be taken as joule Okay. Newton into meter is joule. Then coulomb divided by meter. Accordingly, you may find the dimensional formula of electric flux. Electric field, Newton per coulomb, area is meter square, and accordingly, dimensional formula of electric flux, Newton is force, m to the power 1, L to the power 1, T to the power minus 2 meter square means square of length divided by charge, coulomb. Current into time, by solving it you will get m to the power 1, L to the power 3, T to the power minus 3, A to the power minus 1. This is dimensional formula of electric flux, m to the power 1, L to the power 3, T to the power minus 3, A to the power minus 1. Okay. Then some other cases about electric flux. Okay. What is theta? Very important. We know it, but again we will discuss it. Theta is angle between E vector and A vector. Theta is angle between electric field and area vector. But area vector is perpendicular to the surface. Okay. Let's now think about the angle between electric field and area vector. Okay. Suppose we are taking electric flux, let's take like this. If I held an area like this, how the area is held? Electric field is along x-axis. If area on YZ plane is held, then all the electric field lines will pass perpendicular to the surface. Okay, this is surface. Then what is angle between electric field and area vector? See, area is like this. Then what is direction of area? Perpendicular to the surface. Okay, we may take in outward direction. Okay, along positive direction of electric field, perpendicular to the surface. This is surface. Area vector is perpendicular to the surface. Okay, then in this case, this is the direction of area vector. This is the direction of electric field here. Angle between electric field and area vector is 0 degrees. So flux is EA cos 0 means flux is E means maximum. So if area is held perpendicular, very important, if area is held perpendicular to the direction of electric field, then angle between electric field and area vector is 0 degree. Again, if area is held, plane of area, area means plane of area, if plane of area is held perpendicular to the direction of electric field, this is direction of electric field. If area is held perpendicular to the direction of electric field, then angle between electric field and area vector is also perpendicular to the surface. Electric field is perpendicular to the surface, area vector is also perpendicular to the surface. So both are in same direction. We may take theta is either 0 degree or 180 degree. Okay. So generally outward direction is convenient for us. So electric field is E, since cos theta is 1 here, cos theta is maximum, so flux is maximum. Next case, let's now held the area like this. See, this is along x-axis and this is along y-axis. This is area, let this area is A. Electric field is passing like this. How the electric field is passing? Parallel to the plane C. This is the plane of area. Okay, electric field is passing parallel to the surface area. This is direction of electric field. Okay, this is direction of electric field, but direction of area vector is perpendicular to the plane. So this is direction of area vector. This is area vector. So what is this direction along z axis? So angle between electric field vector and area vector means here theta is 90 degree and flux is Ea cos theta, theta is 90. So flux is Ea. Okay, means here no flux links with the surface. Flux is cos 90 is 0. So flux is 0, means no flux links with the surface. Okay, so here flux is minimum number of flux means 0. Okay, so finally, if area means plane of area is held perpendicular to the direction of electric field, theta is 0 degree. If plane of area is held parallel to the direction of electric field, then theta is 90 degree. Plane of area parallel, angle between electric field vector and area vector is 90 degree. Plane of area is perpendicular to electric field, then angle between electric field vector and area vector is 0 degree or 180 degree, you may take also. Okay, so this is about angle. Again another concept. Now let's consider a closed surface. Okay, we have to decide angle between electric field vector and elemental area vector. Okay, let's consider an irregular surface. Okay, this is the electric field. Okay, let's consider 3 points, means 3 elemental areas on the surface of an irregular body or on the irregular surface. Okay, let's consider this is an elemental area. Let this point is P. This is an elemental area. This point is Q. This is an elemental area. This point is R. Okay. For this elemental area, this is plane of the area. If you consider a point area, then direction of this elemental area is a dA. Okay, this is the elemental area at point R. So this is direction of elemental area, means perpendicular to the surface, and this is direction of elemental area dA, perpendicular to the surface. Okay, for this area, this is the direction of electric field. And here theta is, means angle between electric field and elemental area vector is 90 degree, and this is the electric field, direction of electric field, and here angle between electric field and elemental area vector is theta, but here theta is less than 90 degree. Okay, this is direction of elemental area vector and this is direction of electric field. So here angle between them is theta and theta is greater than 90 degree. Okay, so at point P, for elemental area at P, flux is dot product of electric field and elemental area vector. So flux is equal to EdA cos theta is 90. So here flux is 0. Okay, at point R, again flux is EdA cos theta, but here theta is acute, less than 90 degree. So if theta is acute, if theta is less than 90 degree, then cos theta is positive. So here flux is equal to EdA cos theta, but it is positive. Whatever be the value of theta, but it is less than 90 degree. So here flux is positive at R. Similarly, at Q, angle between electric field and area vector is 90 degree. Okay, sorry, greater than 90 degree. If theta is obtuse, then cos theta is negative, and here flux is again EdA cos theta, which is negative. See students, here electric field is parallel to the plane of surface. Theta is 90 degree, flux is 0. Here electric field is outward from the surface, appears to be outward from the surface. So if electric field is outward, appears to be outward from the surface, then flux links with the surface is positive. Here electric field appears to be inwards. Okay, we have represented, if this is direction of electric field, we may shift this electric field parallel by parallel shifting. So if electric field is inwards, appears to be inwards, electric field appears to be inward to the elemental surface, then flux is negative. Negative flux, positive flux and zero flux. And in general way, we may say, for a closed surface, I am showing two closed surface. This is a closed surface. Okay, outward flux, you may take in all directions. Outward flux, is positive, and if this is again another closed surface, then these flux are inwards. Then inward flux is negative. For a closed surface, outward flux means away from the surface, flux is positive and inward flux are negative. Okay, so these are fundamental idea about electric flux. Okay, let's have some general discussion, means some numericals, one or two numericals. Okay, question is like this. A sphere of radius r carries an uniformly distributed charge or carries a charge, let q plus q. Calculate total flux from the surface of the sphere. Okay, this is the question, very simple question. See students, here magnitude of charge may be given to you. Okay, then I am not taken any numerical value, I have taken variables q and r. If values are given, we can calculate. Okay, suppose this is a sphere, charge is uniformly distributed and we may assume sphere contains a charge q. Okay, or a sphere contains a charge q which may be assumed to be at the center of the sphere. This may be also mentioned in the question. A sphere contains a charge q. We may assume the total charge is concentrated at the center of the sphere and radius of the sphere is capital R. Then these are electric field lines from the surface of sphere in all directions symmetrically we may take. Okay, so we have to calculate total number of electric field lines or total flux from the surface. Okay, electric field on the surface, as we know, magnitude of electric field is q by r square, or electric field is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught kq by r square. This is about magnitude of electric field. Okay, then flux. Let's consider an elemental area at any point. So this is direction of electric field, this is also direction of elemental area vector. Okay, and as we know, d phi is equal to electric field dot elemental area vector, and here angle between electric field and elemental area vector, here theta is 0 degree, both are in same direction. If electric field is perpendicular to the surface, then angle between electric field vector and elemental area vector is 0 degree. Then it is EDA cos 0 and d phi is equal to EDA. Okay, d phi is equal to EDA. Thus we have to calculate total flux. To get total flux, let's integrate both sides. Integration on left side, limits are from 0 to phi, and integration on right side, EDA. Here we may take surface integration, means dA is an elemental area from which flux is d phi. To get total flux, we have to take whole surface area. Okay, then integration of d phi is phi. E, electric field, bring it outside, and surface integration of dA is A, means total area, and electric field, as we have got 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, K we have already taken, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R square into area. Area is whole surface area of the sphere. No, this is capital R, this is capital R, this is capital R. Okay, 4 pi R square, this is surface area of the sphere. 4 pi R square get cancelled, and what we got? Flux from the surface, total flux from the surface is Q divided by epsilon naught. Okay, if magnitude of charge Q is given, we know value of epsilon naught, magnitude of epsilon naught 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. By putting all these values, we can calculate total number of flux from the surface of sphere. Okay, then some other numericals, easier numericals. Next question. An electric field exists in space given as electric field, let 10 I cap plus 100 J cap plus 50 K cap Newton per Coulomb. Find total flux linked with a square plate of area 0.5 meter square held first bit on XY plane, B bit you may take any plane, XZ plane. Okay, then let's consider first bit, A bit. For bit A, flux is electric field vector dot area vector. Let's take area vector A. And here in first bit, area vector is on XY plane. See students, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is your area vector. You may take circular or square or rectangle in area. The area, plane of area is on XY plane, and as we have discussed, direction of area vector is perpendicular to XY plane. So obviously this direction will be along z-axis. This is area vector, or area unit vector along z-axis is k cap. Then now flux electric field vector 10 I cap plus 100 j cap plus 50 k cap dot area vector. Area vector, area is 0.5 meter square, again direction is k cap. Okay, now total flux I cap dot k cap 0, j cap dot k cap 0, then total flux is 50 into 0.5 Newton meter square per coulomb. Then flux is equal to 25 Newton meter square per coulomb. Okay, then this is answer of bit A, then bit B. For bit B, the plane, the surface area is on the plane of xz. Okay, xz plane. See students, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. So xz plane, this plane is xz plane, and here now area is on the surface, and of course direction of area vector is perpendicular to xz plane. As we have discussed, this is xz plane, direction is perpendicular to xz plane. This is area vector or area, direction is along y-axis, so we may take j cap. Along y-axis, unit vector is j cap. And for bit B, Newton meter square per coulomb. For bit B, flux is electric field 10 I cap E dot A plus 100 j cap plus 50 k cap dot area vector, magnitude of area is 0.5, direction is along y-axis. Okay, then flux is I cap dot j cap 0, k cap dot I cap is 0, then flux is 100 into 0.5. Okay, that will come 50 Newton meter square divided by coulomb. Okay, this is about some fundamental numericals on electric flux. Okay, next another concept, theoretical concept, but it will be very useful in future. Okay, that concept is flux density. If charge is given to a body, then charge is distributed on the surface of the body. Okay, now we got a relation. If a sphere contains a charge q, then flux, total flux from the surface of sphere is q divided by epsilon naught. So total flux directly proportional to charge. So flux density is defined as total flux per total unit surface, or flux per, we may write like this in easier form, flux per unit normal area. Okay, then flux is equal to flux density, flux per unit normal area as we know it. Okay, then I am discussing now a concept which is developed by again the great scientist Michael Faraday. Suppose as per Faraday, this is a spherical body, charge given to the body is q. Then as we know, total charge will be distributed on the surface. Okay, now let's keep this sphere inside another larger sphere. Mean these two spheres are two concentric spheres. Okay, let radius of this larger sphere is capital R, radius of this smaller sphere is small r. Okay, and the space between the two spheres, this is a hollow sphere in between which this sphere is placed, and this space is completely filled with insulating medium. Okay, this medium may be called as dielectric medium. We'll discuss about dielectric medium in brief, but now only thing is dielectric medium means an insulating medium, but all insulators are not dielectric. Now let's consider this is an insulating medium. When a charged sphere is kept inside an uncharged sphere, and the space is filled with a dielectric or insulating medium, then Faraday observed that the surface of bigger sphere also becomes positively charged. Okay. The fundamental concept you know, if this sphere is positively charged, then inner side of this outer sphere will become negative. As per electrostatic induction, this is bound induced charge, and on the outer side of the outer sphere there will be positive charge, that is free induced charge. So charge, in this case we may say this charge is transferred. If this total charge is Q, then this charge will also be Q. Okay. So charge is transferred to the surface of outer sphere. Okay. So this charge is displaced as per Faraday. Okay. Electric field on the surface of this sphere. Electric field on the surface of the sphere, as we know, Q point charge is again Q divided by R square, and in vector form we may write R cap also. Then electric field is K 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q by R square into R cap. Okay, this is about electric field. Then flux density. Total flux per unit area. Flux density, surface area, flux per unit area. Okay, then flux density is flux per unit area. Let's take A, or we may take 4 pi R square. Okay, then here then we got the electric field, we got formula for flux density. Since total flux directly proportional to charge, we may take here, this is also equivalent to charge per unit area. Okay, now electric field magnitude. Okay, flux density is also vector, you may put here R cap. Flux density is a vector quantity. Okay, then here electric field Q by 4 pi R square is flux density, and here 1 by epsilon naught, only magnitude we are taking, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by 4 pi R square. This can be magnitude of electric field. If magnitude of electric field is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square, we may write like this, 1 by epsilon naught into Q by 4 pi R square. Then here this implies electric field is Q by 4 pi R square is flux density divided by epsilon naught. Then finally flux density is epsilon naught into E. In general, we may write flux density is epsilon into E. Okay, thus flux density only taking magnitude epsilon 0, epsilon R into electric field. So it shows that flux density and electric field directly proportional to flux density for a given medium, or here also epsilon naught is constant, so electric field directly proportional to flux density. If density flux is more, then electric field is stronger. Okay, this formula is very, very important for future. Okay, flux density, flux per unit area, charge per unit area is charge density. Flux density is equivalent to charge density since flux is directly proportional to charge. Okay, this is about lecture 9. Okay, in lecture 10 we will discuss briefly about Gauss theorem or Gauss law. It's very important theorem, very important law. Then we will go to application of Gauss law. Then some numericals based on Gauss law. Okay, and this chapter we will continue. We will have some videos, some more videos for this subject, means electric charge and electric field. Be with me. Again, I will like to recall you my promise. I will try to clear all the basic concepts on the electrical and magnetism, whatever subject we are going to discuss. Thank you, children. Thank you for your great support. Thanks.